My name is Frank Salazar, and I'm a proud member of the Choose to Change mentoring program. The Choose to Change mentoring program is a self supporting Christian based sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. There is no fee to attend this class, but we do encourage donations from all our members and anyone else who believes in what we do. The only requirement for membership is a sincere desire to change your life. We are on a mission to restore families by inspiring, challenging, and equipping men to become better fathers, husbands, and leaders in our community. So if you're ready to change your life, then you're in the right place. Through this program, you will learn exactly where to start your life change journey, tools and resources to keep you going, and a support system to help you reach your goals. The Choose to Change mentoring program believes in three key principles of life. Number one, we believe in the life changing power of God through faith in Jesus Christ. Number two, we believe that God has already done his part and it's our responsibility to learn to do our part. And number three, success or failure is a choice, and the choice is yours. So if you're ready, say, I'm ready. All right. Again, thank you everyone on YouTube who's watching. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, uh, say something in the chat to let us know you're here. If you have any questions, and today was a good day. Just catching up on some artwork, and I got my old Choose to Change shirt today. Is one of the early ones that we had, and I was thinking about something we got to go back to basics. Something we there's a lot of like hype on like, oh, we gotta do things new, we gotta do it like this and find a new way. Sometimes the old way is the way to go because it works. It's basics, just the basic stuff. That's what we're gonna learn here, how to change your life. And like first step, you gotta want it. I mean, if you don't want it, then then nothing's gonna change. So you're just gonna get stuck there. You're just gonna stay where you are. And oh, someone got stuck right now. And but that's pretty much it. Like there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, the Bible says that it's what's there, what's in the Bible. It's pretty much what we do here. Just broken down in simple steps. That's what you're gonna learn here. That's what Orlando is gonna teach us. So without further ado, here is Orlando Salinas, CEO, founder, life changer. Come on, somebody.
Thank you. Awesome. That's amazing, Frank. And he didn't know what I was going to talk about today. Closer? How was it? Okay, hold on. How's that? Let me get this right, guys. We're going to get it right. How's that? Is that better? Awesome. Frank did not know what I was going to talk about, but I knew I was going to have some new members, new people, and that's exactly what I want to talk about. The basics. And it's interesting, he says that because, when I wanted to change my life, when I wanted to get better, when I wanted things to change, I didn't know where to start. And I learned that the first thing I needed to do is want to change. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, desire. We're going to go back to basics. And the reason I'm doing this, everybody sees me do this all the time. These little steps, because we start here. And I want to talk about where we're starting. This is where we start, right here. Discontent, unhappy. We start right here at this little step. And we want to get over here. I'm telling you because, hey, happy. We call it success. Whatever that means for you. And the thing is, I talk to so many people. Brother, I talk to so many people. I go to the parole office every single month. I talk to 30, 40, 50 men and women every month. And I invite them to this class. And they hear my story. And I can tell them about other stories. And I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't want to change. Maybe they don't think they can change. Or maybe, which is the three things why people don't change, they don't see a need to change. But whatever it is, I know that people are struggling and they know they're trying to find answers. You know, like when I talk to Mr. John here, you know, he's struggling. And so many other people are struggling, but they give up, they stop, or they rather go drugs, drinking and drugging and pornography or whatever it is else that feeds our flesh, that feeds our something. And I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about, and those of you that are here today, still here, you've been in the fight, Chavarria, 4, 5, 6 years, how long? 6 years. You've been in the fight. Jews, you've been in the fight. You've made some good decisions, made some bad decisions, but you've been in the fight. Alex, you've been in the fight. And it's a fight. It's a war, and it's a real war. A real war. There's actually challenges that are overwhelming. Am I right? Overwhelming. And it's not easy. And if you don't have this desire, deep-rooted desire to change your life, you're not going to make it up the stairs. You're not going to make it through. You're not going to make it. And that's what it takes. It takes, whatever it takes for you to do what you know you need to do. Because there's some things you already know you need to do. There's easy things like drinking and drugging. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? You got to stop. You got to stop it. If you're hooked on pornography, I think you should, if you don't know, that's not good. It's not good. So there's some things that are common sense, may not be common practice, but there's some things that you already know. But the things that you don't know this is why we're here. This is what the church is for. This is what Choose to Change is for. You know, in fact, what can we call this class? The day you changed. We'll call it the day you changed. That's what we're going to call this class today. The day that you changed. Because you might not be able to change. I say this all the time. You can't change the past. We can't change where we come from. We can't change where we've been. We can't change that. You can't undo everything that you've done. But here's what you can do today, right? You can change directions. Like this, up here. You can decide that today is the day I change. Today is that my life changes. That's what you can decide today. Am I right? I actually want to call it the day that turns your life around. Could be today. Welcome. So, man, I'll do announcements afterwards. I'm just inspired today. Because I know what it takes. And I know how hard it is. It's a monster to make it over those obstacles that you're facing. It's a monster. It's not easy. You're going to have to really want it. Because there's a process to go through. And there's a price to pay. If you want to change your life. Right? There's a process to go through and a price to change and a price to pay. If you want to change your life. And this is what this class is all about. I want to help you go from here. Being mad, angry, and depressed. No, just things not going your way. Things never went your way. Whatever it is your situation may be, this is where you're at. And this is where you start. It's called desire. and you have to want it. And then there's these 7 keys that I teach. You get all the way over here to results. You want, what kind of results do you want? Good or bad results? You want good results. How do you get them? This is what I teach in this class. How do you go from there to here? And I'm not going to put it on right now because I want to just stick on desire. You got to want this stuff. Because there's way too many obstacles you're facing right now. And if you're not committed, if you're not in it to win, you're going to lose. And I'm here to tell you that you can win. That's what I'm here to tell you. You can win. Desire is where all change starts, or at least positive change. In other words, you must want something better for your life. This is where it starts. And you might be saying, well, that's why I'm here, right? I want something better. Well, good, then we're on the right track. But I want to really hone into this idea of desire, wanting something better. Because I'm not talking about just hoping and wishing and I hope things get better. No. I'm talking about full-hearted commitment to change. Because that's what it's going to take. Who's ever been a drug addict here? Go 1, 2, 3, 4. I was a drug addict. I put needles in my arm for 10 years. And I remember when I wanted another hit, I didn't go think about it. And say, well, should I go get one? No. I went and got it, right? You remember that? Especially you're all strung out. 2 or 3 days. You haven't eaten for days. You haven't showered. But you want another hit. You're not trying to just figure it out. You're going to go get it. You say, I'm going to go get it. That's the kind of desire you need inside of you. So you already have it inside of you. It's already there. You just got to, I don't know what you have to do. I don't know what it's going to take for you. But you got to reach that. The principle of desire is about reaching this crossroads where you're finally ready to change your life. You reach that crossroads. I call that the choose a change moment. The choose a change moment. Some of us had to go back to prison. That was me. I went to prison twice. The first time didn't work. I went to prison when I was 18 years old for burglary of a building, burglary of a habitation, escape, aggravated robbery, and murder. 18 years old. Went to prison. 20-year sentence. In prison, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. I don't have to explain it to you. 1980. I got out when I was 24. 24 years old. And I put a needle in my arm full of cocaine, and I became a hardcore drug addict. So that's why I know about this. I know about this stuff. And for 10 years, from the age of 24 to the age of 34, I was a loser father, a loser husband, a loser son, a loser drug addict. I was a loser. And I knew it. How many knew you were a loser? How many knew that? Not very many. Okay, good. Some honest people here. See, so I know what I'm talking about, right? I know who I'm talking to. This is why I love doing this. See, because out there might be people that don't care and don't know. They don't know what you're going through. They look at your face, they look at your tattoos, and they say, that's a loser. I look at tattoos in your face, I say, man, you can win. You can overcome. You can make it. That's what I see. I see hope. You got to want it, though. Desire is the pivoting point of life change and success in life. It's the pivoting point. You know what pivoting means? You ever heard that word before? Pivot. You go from here to here. This is the pivoting point right there. No, I don't want to change. Yes, I want to change. That's how it works. That's it. That's it. It's that point or that moment of time when something happens inside of you. And I hope it to happen today. In your heart and in your mind, and you decide you're going to stop going that way and you're going to start going this way. That's it. For us, for today, for our purposes, is coming to church, coming to this class, asking questions, prayer, reading your Bible, reading books. That's what it takes. That's not always easy getting to this crossroads, right? It's not always easy, right? Who did I tell? Who was I talking to? I'll think about it in a minute. In fact, most people never get there until it's too late. You know, for many of us, we get to prison and it's like, oh man, what have I done again? Right? Well, you don't have to go that way. You can do it today. But when you finally do get there, this is where that choose to change moment comes in. Nobody can help somebody who does not want to change. Right? You've got to want to change. There's a story in the Bible. Who knows about the prodigal son? The prodigal son. You ever heard of the prodigal son? But there's a story in the Bible. Jesus is sharing a story about a prodigal son. A prodigal son is someone like a son or a daughter who went astray. They went off and did their own thing. Who's ever done that? Just went off and did your own thing. You don't want no rules. You don't want your dad or a mom or a preacher or anybody telling you what to do. You're going to go do your own thing. Okay, that was the story. In the story, it's about a father and two sons. Both of them were honoring their father. They loved their father. They had everything at home. But then one day, the prodigal son, one of the sons, the younger one, he said, "Dad, I want you to give me all my money," because the man was rich. I want just give him my inheritance. And back then, in Bible times, well, the son, they had an inheritance, and the father said, "Man, why, son? I want to leave. I want to go on my own." So the father gave him all his inheritance. And the Bible says that he went and spent it on bad living. For us, it would be drugs and women and clubs and just, crazy living. That's how he spent it. But in the Bible, it says like this. In Luke 15, 11 to 22, you can find that story. Luke 15, 11 to 22. And it says that he went and spent all his money. And when he had spent all his money, he found himself working for a man at a ranch feeding pigs. Because he had no food, nowhere to go. He had spent it all. And then right there in verse 17, he says he's in this mud pit of pigs, feeding the pigs, and he was so hungry, he would eat the pigs' food. And then one day, he came to that pivoting point, that choose a change moment. And here's what he says. But when he came to himself, snapped, what am I doing? What have I done? For me, it was that moment I called my wife at 34 years old from the county jail after robbing a store for one more hit on my daughter's 4th birthday. That was my pivoting point. I called my wife at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd been up all night, my daughter's 4th birthday, and I got arrested for another second aggravated robbery. 5 o'clock that afternoon, I called my wife, "Babe, I'm not coming home anymore. I really messed up." And the next thing I hear is my little girl, little Andrea, saying, "Daddy, Daddy, today was my birthday, and you weren't here. Are you coming now?" January 18th, 1997. That was my pivoting point. I just broke down. And just like this guy, what have I done? I came to myself. Face to face. I looked in the mirror. And I knew that guy there, and it was a monster. I knew it. I was on my way to prison for the rest of my life. At the age of 34 years old. Ex-drug addict, ex-convict, drug addict, ex-convict, loser father, loser husband, loser son, on parole, with a habitual indictment, with a first-degree felony. For me, I wanted to kill my worthless self. That's where I was. And I had to make a choice. Do I kill my worthless self? Or do I choose? This is why we call it choose to change. Do I choose to believe in the impossible. See, that's why you see so much passion in me. Because I know you're facing impossible things. I know you're facing impossible things. But I also know there's a way out. And that's why we're here. If you're sitting here today with a sincere desire to change your life, then you have finally reached that pivoting point. So are you all ready for that journey? That's awesome. Because it comes only through two main reasons. Either inspiration, hopefully I inspire you, or desperation, going back to prison. Either way, no matter how you get there, I just hope you get there. Those two basic ways. So what will keep you going? Say you do get inspired today. My story helps you. I teach you something. Something's happening inside of you right now, and you say, you know what, I want what you have. Let's say that's happening. What's going to keep you going is the question. So you have to understand what I call the why power, the why factor. Let me put it over here. The why. Who's ever heard of that? Who's ever heard of that? Anybody? The why factor? Have you ever heard of the why factor? That's what's going to keep you going. So let me give it to you. The why factor. I don't know. For everybody, it's different. But the why factor is when you have enough reasons to change. Let me give you an example of my why factor. I remember, this is my story, the story I just told you about robbing a store for one more hit on my daughter's 4th birthday. That's a real story. I'm not just making that up. That was me. 26 years ago. And I was on a road to destruction, straight to hell. Loser joy. I'm talking about I was blown, I was out of it. And I crashed right into this moment in time. Well, I just said, what have I done? What have I done? How do you change this? And it was hopeless. I know how that feels. There's no way out. But when I heard that voice, that little voice, Daddy, Daddy, today is my birthday. Listen, just a ray of something happened. And I got to that point. It became my why. You could also call it purpose. Is that correct? Purpose, a reason why. I remember praying to God and asking God, God help me. See, Martin, right? Martin, I wasn't afraid of prison. Any idiot can do time. Am I right or wrong? Any fool can pull a trigger. Anybody can put a needle in your arm, drink till you drop. Anybody can do that. But to change your life, everything you have always believed in and done, how do you change all that? I told God, I don't care if I go to prison for the rest of my life, but help me change that monster in the mirror. And I'm telling you, God heard our cry. And by the way, just because I'm going to tell you the second part of this, you need faith. That's number 2, right? 1, 2. And you keep on climbing. I said, God, I know you're real. Well, I don't know anymore. But help me. I'll do whatever it takes. I found my why. I don't want to be a loser anymore. That was my why. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a man. I want to stay sober. I don't want to be a loser. But I couldn't see it. I had to believe it. Believing in the impossible. And that's exactly what I did. Went back to prison. God heard my cry. 6.5 more years in prison, and I walked out at the age of 40. 20 years ago. You heard the story, right? You were at the parole office, weren't you?
Yeah.
I walked out of the prison at the age of 40 with 3 powerful things to my name. At the age of 40, 2003. Number 1, I had Jesus in my heart, and I didn't let him go this time. Number 2, I had my family waited for me, my daughters. Today I have an amazing family. But number 3 is the reason I'm here today. "20 years ago, think about this for a minute. I know what I'm talking about, Martin. I had a dream. I didn't see all this. But my dream said that I can do more. I can have more. You can have more. And I can become more if I simply choose to. It's that simple. The pivoting point. The day that changes your life around. And this is what I'm doing here. 20 years later. Looking for men like you, Martin. Wires me up. But let me give you a warning. Sounds good, right? But let me give you a warning. There's no easy way out of the mess that we created, right? If you're looking for easy, this is not the class. There's no easy way out, John. We're going to have to fight. And what I mean by fight, I'm talking about coming to church. I'm talking about building new relationships. I'm talking about prayer. I'm talking about coming to this class. I'm talking about building and learning new, letting go of a few bad habits, picking up a few new ones, changing attitudes. Just so many things that you're going to have to learn and do and recreate, Martin. When people look at you and they look at you crazy, like you're going to I know, bro, don't worry. I'm not the man. The man you see today is not the man I was 26 years ago. And that's what you're going to be able to tell other people. Yeah, I know what you're looking at, but that's all right. I've come a long way. That's how this stuff works. This is how it works. There's no easy way out to succeed, to success, to change in your life, to overcoming the obstacles that you're facing. There's no easy way. But I wasn't looking for easy. I wasn't looking for easy. I was looking for possible. That's what I was looking for. Listen, I remember walking. I always like sharing this story. That's where the shirt going to the top came from. I have a shirt that says going to the top. Because I walked into Garza West, my second time to prison, and I was excited, man, because I had given the judge had given me 6.5 years. 6.5 years. I said, man, 6.5 years. I can do that. Sitting on the toilet. 6.5 years. I can do that. And I walked into Garza West, and this guy comes up to me and asks me, who are you running with? That's what he asked me. And I said, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care. I'm a Christian man. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. See, I didn't know how I was going to do it, Martin. I don't know exactly how it was all going to unfold for me. I didn't even know if it was really possible for a man like me to change his life. You have to understand that was my mindset. I didn't know. I had to believe in the impossible because that's what God offered me. He said, if you believe, you will see the glory of God. If you believe, all things are possible to him who believes. That's what he promised me. Not easy, possible. I took it. I took it. I'll take it. There's no easy road to success. You got to want it. You must want it, which is what the why creates, the must factor. You can't say, I hope I get something better in my life. No, I must get something better in my life. I hope my future's better. I wish my marriage was better. I wish I was a better man. Man, I think I can do better. No. Think and hoping. No. You must be a better man. You must want to be a better man. You must want to be a better husband. You must want to be a better husband and leader and father. You must want to stay out of prison. You must want to be a better Christian. That's how I live. I must do it. Not I hope, I wish. No. You must do it. Remember? Another hit? Remember? That's how this stuff works. This is it, Martin. This is how it works. And it starts with desire. Desire. This is what that's what I'm talking about. Desire. So, with that in mind, does anybody have any questions? Any comments? Anything? Juice?
Yeah. Well, that kind of like I see myself. I'm just 30 years old, but I see that if I would have continued, I wouldn't even know how to change because I'm still young, right? But I know for a fact that drugs, I started at a young age, and at the age of 18, I stopped doing cocaine because I realized, what am I doing? This is just dumb. And then at the age of 30, I realized like it's ruined everything that I've
tried to do.
Like I've trying to change, and it led me in the dead end. But I'm glad I'm not, right now in prison, or I could have killed somebody because I know that that's what could have ended up happening. And so this is an example of you being our example of changing. It goes for anybody. It could happen to anybody.
That's right.
It takes 1 second to completely ruin your life, but it only takes that second to change it.
Yep, that's right. That's right. It's powerful stuff. Let me see what else do I have here. And so, what I want to do is, I was going to wait to see how many people came. 9 people signed up to come here. And you're the only one that showed up. I already know that. Sometimes nobody shows up. I already know that. But I'm going to do this for you, Martin. And for Mr. John over there. Remember I told you we're going to start a program?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we want to start it next week. So let me tell you about this program that I'm starting, John and Martin. Well, everybody. It's going to be an 8-week program. And I'm going to teach you what I call the 7 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 major keys to life change. Stuff I learned. How I got to where I'm at today. I'm a business owner. I'm a speaker. I'm a preacher. I started this organization 10 years ago. I know what I'm talking about. So, but you have to learn this. There's a framework for change. And I want to teach it to you in 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. What I shared with you today is where you start. That's number one. But here's what happens, Martin. What we do, I tell people all the time, normal people start right here. They start here. This is a normal people. Start right here, this little ladder, and they start climbing. You know what I mean by normal people? Let me tell you what I mean by normal people. People that have not gone to prison and don't do drugs. That's what I call normal. Okay? So that's where normal people start. They start here, because they got divorced, or, they had a bad accident, or, a near-death experience, or, they filed bankruptcy, whatever it is. They're in the dumps. Their life is, right? That's the normal person. He wants to learn to change his life. Well, I can help him. We got to start here. No matter whether you've been to prison or just filed bankruptcy or divorce, it doesn't matter. This program is to help you change your life. To give you a razor sharp, or what is it called? Laser sharp direction. Exactly what it takes. So that's what I wanted. I learned this. But we're not normal, Martin. Here's what we did. And maybe even you, John. You ever been in prison, John? Close? Okay. Drug addict?
Let's just say I had luck.
Okay. Bueno, me and Martin didn't have that kind of luck. We went to prison. So me and you, Martin, here's where we started. Now here, look. In El Pozo. We dig a hole, and now we find ourselves there. And I'm not talking about when you were in prison. I'm talking about now. You have all kinds of challenges right now. From parole, to money, to work, your mind. You have all kinds of challenges. And this is where you find yourself. So then, what I'm here to do is just try to help you, just kind of climb out of there. I can't jump in there with you. I mean, you got to do it on your own. And you need to get up here. Which means, when you get a job, at least you're stable. You're starting getting stable. Okay, ya podemos comenzar. You get your driver's license, or you got your, whatever it is that you need to get stable. Now you get over here with the normal folks. Okay. All right, let's go. I'm telling you, this is how stuff works, man. I started with a monitor too. But see, I learned all this in there. All the crazy stuff I'm going to teach you to change your life, I was just believing it in there in books. Oh, wow, really? Can change my life. Wow. Just believe. Wow, faith. I have to have a deep-rooted desire. Wow, I got it. I was reading this stuff. And everything I'm about to share with you, I learned it in prison, and it just came together out here. So the 7-week program, let me put it over here. 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to be every Thursday from 5:30, and I'm going to put this on paper, to 8. No. From 5:30 to 7, so 6:45. Okay? This is a program. From 5:30 to 6:45. And then from 7 to 8 is this regular class that you're in right now. This is the mentoring class. So in other words, every Thursday for an hour and a half, I'm going to go through each one of these for 8 weeks. and you're gonna really learn what you need to know. And part of the process, because this is a process, I call it the process of change, is more than you see. You're just gonna have to go through the process. As a parolee, you have to go to AA, right? How many signatures do you need a week? A week, right? Well, guess what? 1, 2. All you have to do is come here. That's it. I already worked it out with the parole office. This is a program where I'm working together with the parole office. They trust me. Can you believe that? I used to go to the parole office there. My parole officer is still there. He's still there. That's why they know me. Because they know I'm real. I'm not messing around. They know that when I tell them someone's coming here, dale gas. Very few though come. Because there's no easy road. There's no easy way to the top. If you want to go to the top. You know why I want to go to the top? It gets too crowded at the bottom. So the reason I'm telling you this is that, what do you think, John, about this? Would you be interested in coming to this class? I'm going to give you, at the end of this class, you're going to get a certificate. You're going to share what you learned. We're going to get and 2 books, at least. And I don't know, maybe a $50 certificate or something. I don't know, something. But what you're going to learn is invaluable. It took me years to learn it. Years. The process of change, the 7 major keys to life change. So if you tell me you want to do this, we're going to start it next week at 5:30. Even if your alarm, your thing went off, it doesn't matter, because they know that they were supposed to give you the time. I'll call tomorrow immediately anyway. Tell them, hey, he was here. Yeah. No, I'll tell him, no, he was here. He was here. In fact, he was the only one that showed up. Because I got to give him a report. I mean, out of all the people I send him all the people that were coming. And I'm going to tell him, all these people didn't come except this one. What do you think, John? Something to think about?
Yeah. It's
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm sure it's difficult for the reason that, because I take care of my kids.
Oh, yeah?
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm still living there. No me han corrido or anything like
Okay.
that. But she has a fixed schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah, so
How old are your kids?
I have a 14, 10, and a 3. I mean 5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And you take care of the 14 and the 3?
I take care of the 5-year-old and the 10. The
Okay.
14, she helps me out. Like, o sea,
The reason I'm saying is because you can bring your kids if you wanted to do this.
they're
program.
in that age where because I've invited them to church. And
Uh-huh.
they went once, and I don't want to push them. I just want to show
But
them.
you're the
and
father. You have to push them.
I,
That's another story.
yeah, that's another story. But I'm doing this for myself right now.
Yeah. But either way, we're here every Thursday.
Yeah.
You know.
uh, I mean, I could do an hour, like, to show up porque my daughter helps me.
Yeah.
But like to leave them in that long,
Yeah. No. I understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Well, what I'm saying, if it made it easier for you, you can bring your 5-year-old.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We got coloring books there. Or no sé qué hace ella con his phone. Okay.
I mean, I could try it. I could.
No, I'm just letting
she's
you know.
on she's always on her phone. Like, she's well behaved, you know. But it's, I don't know. I've left them maybe a little bit, but not that long.
No, está bueno. No, está bien. But that's what this program is all about. And I just put together this program because I know it takes some commitment of time and to learn. And you have anything to say? Not really? What was your name? Monica? Well, thank you for coming, Monica. But that's what we're doing. We're having this class program. And we'll start next week. No, well, there's two classes. It's like, in other words, they're back to back. In other words, you're going to come at 5:30, and we're going to go through the first step. And then we end, take a little break, and we start this mentoring class, which you'll learn something else. ¿Sí me explico? Which this mentoring class is for anybody who wants to come, because we share something different. You know what I mean? Every time you come in here, I'm going to be sharing something different. But at the program, I'm teaching exactly what I teach in here, but it's not in an order like this. You know what I mean or no? It's kind of like say you were going to mechanic school. The program is the mechanic school. The mentoring class, the actual working on the car. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's a 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. It's a 2.5 hours. It's a 2.5 hours. This whole thing. So in other words, you're mentoring your monitor will be open from 4 to 9. But you have to come to the class. So this is another reason I'm doing it. That'll get you off the monitor a little bit. You build new relationships. This is why I'm doing it. Does anybody else have any questions? Yes, sir. And you can come too, Juice.
I'll be here. I'm always here. Since I started coming, of course. I think something really like to focus on is believe in knowing what is impossible for you, for each and every person. Because I know that I used to think like, well, I'm an ex-con, like, and on top of that, I have like 5 felonies.
Right. And you're
so,
like,
so that was my mentality. Like, who's gonna
what can I do?
Who's gonna give me a good job to start off? Who's gonna even take their time to believe in me? It's not gonna happen. But you gotta believe it in yourself, right?
That's right.
Because I used to be a gang member, and I didn't have no trust in nobody no more. And to start off, I was thinking to myself like, I'm not gonna be able to get a good job, but that changes when you have God in your life.
That's right. And that's part of what we teach in here. Remember, who I was talking? Was it you or no? It was John. I was talking about the mental part. Well, because number 1 is desire. Number 2 is faith. Number 3 is mindset. And we spend a lot of time on this one. Because that's the core to your problem.
So
the way we think. So
also, like, in a way, like it kind of seems impossible, but it also matters a lot that you break away from your old habits and put yourself in, like you said, get new friends or try new things, because those people are going to influence you, and you're being around that is going to be in the same situation. It's what's that one saying that it's insane doing the same thing over and again,
accepting and expecting different results.
Yeah. So it's gonna be driving patinando llanta and be in the same situation.
Yeah, and we learn all that he's saying in here. All of it. Because what you have to learn to change your life is not so much tangible. It's not so much something it's more of the mind. And once you understand that, and once you start working on that, then you start physically working on things. We use the mic because this is live streamed. And so then
All right.
that is what brings the
Okay, as
voice.
far as me with my mindset, that's where it's hard for me right now. If my yesterday was 30 days, I've been out. And been gone for 11 and a half years.
That's
12,
right. I forgot
12
about
years,
that. Yeah.
going on 12 years. So my mindset is what I need to break. I've been so
Well, let me tell you something, Martin. This is exactly what this is for you. Because, just like you were, when you go to prison, you're shocked there. You have to get used to it again. You have to get into this role. Well, if you've gone 2 or 3 times, well, you already know the rule. But, when you get out, it's the same thing. It's culture shock. And you got a lot of things going on in your mind that you don't know how to deal with.
it's like the opposite.
Yep. Yeah. See, now, you have to stop thinking the way you thought in there. You have to start thinking differently. And I teach you all this stuff. And the only requirement to be here is a desire. A desire. You have to want it. Desire to change your life. That's it. And you're gonna get more out of this than you know. All this is not just because. So, anything else? You know what? We're going to pass around the donation bucket. We pass around a donation bucket. You don't have to give, only if you have $1 or $2, whatever. This is how we're a self-supported organization. Here you go, Joe. I brought my donation today. And we have Puedes pasar para allá. Anybody else have anything else to say? Anybody else? Nothing? We're good? No, I think she's good. Yeah, Cash App. No, that's fine. You can do Cash App. I'll tell you what, we'll close it up. And if someone watching online and you're interested in coming to this class, reach out to us. So the announcements. Saturday, barbecue. We're having a fundraiser on Saturday. You get an admission. We're selling plates. We're raising money because we are a nonprofit organization. All this, we don't charge for none of this, but it takes money to run it. So we're trying to raise some money. We have $10 plates. That'll be on Saturday, March 25th. So on Sunday. Yeah. Well, once you start coming to this class, because you do want to come to this class, right? Because I'm going to make it happen for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the parole office. I talked to the director. The director of parole is the one that tells the parole officers to open your time. So once I tell him, here's the situation. I got Martin. He's going to start coming. Then we'll organize all that. And the more you come, the more they know that you're in this organization. And they might not open immediately, but for sure they'll open Sunday morning. But what I'm going to tell them to do is to see if we can open like Wednesday nights and Sunday evenings, because we have church services on Sunday evenings. Okay, so let's just close. We'll see you next week. What else? Oh, don't forget Saturday, fundraising, barbecue, plates, $10 a plate. Please, if you're watching, you're from the McAllen mission area, please come by. We need to sell as many plates as possible. We're trying to sell 500 plates. So far, we've sold, 200, 300. But we need to sell the rest of them. So if you can help us in any way, if you can't come and you want to give, please give. We still need a little bit more supplies. You can buy on site as well, the plates. So, and I'm speaking to those of you watching online. Please help us with this. If you can't come, buy a plate. We'll give it out. Donate whatever you can to help us raise money as we continue this fight for men. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll give it to you here in a minute. Yeah. So like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Wherever else we are. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for watching.